I will be going over 5 of the biggest Photoshop mistakes I see beginners make. Stick around until the end of the video as I will be giving you tips on how to fix these mistakes and make your time with Photoshop much more easier. Starting off with mistake number 5, not starting simple. When you start learning and editing with Photoshop, it can be very tempting to go big, as the application can achieve very remarkable results when it comes to artwork. I mean, just look at this photo. Just like any life skill, you cannot be a master the second you start. Trying to go big instead of simple will lower the overall quality you will produce at the end. As you learn Photoshop, I would suggest you start off with simple subjects and backgrounds and learn the fundamentals of blending the images just right. Next up, we have mistake number 4, not organizing your projects. I have noticed a lot of Photoshop tutorials that you can find on the internet don't always go over the UI design of Photoshop and how to manage it. This can cause some users to have projects that look like this. That is a mess. Instead of having a layer panel all cluttered by layers out of order, get in the habit of using things like folders and groups to stay organized. You will find it much more easy to organize as you go instead of waiting until you have gotten to the end of your project. Mistake number 3 might surprise you a little. Using photos you got off of Google Images. This is a problem particularly because they are normally not high-resolution photos. Not only that, there can be times where you use copyrighted materials without even knowing, and if you want to publish a project you made under your name with a copyrighted image, you can face a major problem. This is why when you need images, take a look at Pexels, Pixabay, or Unsplashed. Now we have mistake number 2 on this list, and that is using Photoshop for the wrong projects. What I mean by this is Photoshop is made for photo editing, and there are times where I see people using Photoshop to make flyers, which that's Adobe InDesign's job, or even make logos in Photoshop, and you are supposed to make logos in Adobe Illustrator. I get that you can still do it in Photoshop, but if you have access to the rest of Creative Cloud, please start using the other applications that are tailored to specific projects, as they will do better at tasks they were made to do. Finally, we have mistake number 1. Using destructive editing. You might be wondering what that is, and well, destructive editing is when you change the original photo directly, like erasing the background from a portrait instead of using a special technique. If you mess up or want to bring back the original background, you're in trouble because you might have to undo everything you did or start over with the photo. Instead, you should use non-destructive editing. This means you make changes in a way that doesn't harm the original photo. Think of it like putting a protective layer over the photo. For example, if you want to remove the background from a person, you create a new layer just for that change. This way, if you change your mind later, you can easily bring the background back or remove it again with a simple click. Oh, and another thing. Some people also use the clone stamp tool incorrectly. Instead of directly using it on the picture, you should create a new layer and then use the tool and set the tool to sample from layers below. This helps you choose which parts of the image you want to clone without affecting the original. That ends our list of the 5 beginner Photoshop mistakes to avoid. Before you go, I do want to say that you should not compare your work with other professionals out there. Just like any skill in life, you can't be a master at Photoshop as soon as you start using it. You will make plenty of mistakes, and that is okay. If you made any of the mistakes that I listed, let us know in the comments below. If this video helped you out, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more content for all things Adobe.